So, um, and then also another thing about the classroom, one thing that kind of wowed me personally, and it also wowed some of the other guys in the class. There's also a smokeless range in there. Like
Yes.
you have like the laser ammo guns. How many different guns do you have? I think you had at least
Um,
10, right?
well, I've got a Glock 17. I've got a slightly different one that is very similar to the 17, but has optics on it. But it's technically a slightly different one. Two 19s, one with optics, one without. A You can actually take your airsoft gun, and I've got a little deal that would let you put what's called a spider on the rail. And for example, I ordered myself a M&P airsoft gun so that I can put that spider on and be able to use an M&P because that's what I carry.
Yeah.
I've got an AR for it, and that one does have the giggle switch, but you go through a lot of gas with the giggle switch. And I also have a shell adapter, so you can actually run a pump shotgun on the smokeless range. And
That's
I've set
incredible.
some stuff up for that.
So
And I've got
all these guns are guns that are on the smokeless range. They
right.
are basically airsoft guns that have a little laser inside,
Mhm.
and you shoot those at a screen, and it looks like a video game.
It looks, yeah, I mean, it looks somewhat similar to a video game. These do have recoil, so you have to have your grip and and be able to deal with recoil. And it's not as strong as the real thing, right? But especially for newer shooters or when you're working on something, when you're working on changing something, being able to not have that big bang allows you to focus on those pieces that you need to, right? And it's also entirely safe. There's literally no way anything can come out of the barrel. So you can have an instructor be able to get slightly in front of you and see what you're doing, see what your eyes are doing, that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of fun stuff on there. I mean, there's a zombie shoot thing that they brought out for like a Halloween extra that is a lot of fun, right? But the thing about it is that there's a whole lot of stuff there that is hard to do on a regular range. Movement, transition, uh, tracking, stuff like that, and that's just in the base module. And then you get into open range, which is where you can create your own stuff. I've got a replica of Test 9 from Rogers on there. I've got multiple stuff like the Test, Super Test, different stuff. Tim Herron, I got Tim Herron in here, and we set up so that you can do his throttling drill on there. And it's not costing you a ton of cash. Now, yeah, there's a cost to, for example, if somebody wants to book the smokeless range just to run some, but okay, if you're doing, for example, moving targets, or you're doing something that's high volume, how much are you going to spend, even if you could find that somewhere, how much are you going to spend in ammo and stuff like that? Because you know how people start going a little overboard on,
Yeah.
oh, da-da-da-da-da, right?
Myself
I mean, and
included.
I've got a mover down there, and I've seen guys blow through just in two full iterations, back and forth, right? Two full iterations go through like four mags, like standard size mags, right? And so how much ammo are you spending there, right? Being able to, I've got one that I created specifically for making people think when something comes up. So every target that comes up has a different number of rounds that it takes to put it down, right?
Mm.
So if you're a blow and go guy, you're still going to get misses because you're just pumping rounds down. If you're I'm just going to one every second or so, you're going to have targets start stacking up on you, that kind of stuff, right? There's a tactical targets module. I think you saw this one. that you're going through. It's an on rails kind of thing where you're going through and targets will pop up. You have to, there's shoots and no shoots, and you have to actually identify those. Otherwise, you're not getting the good score, right?
Yeah.
And they added a deal to that where it now randomizes how many rounds it takes to put them down between 1 and 3. Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
And then there's the scenario module, which I believe you saw, correct?
Yeah, there's a couple of different scenarios. Yeah.
Right. So they've greatly expanded that. They've also made it to where there's an add-on for that I can actually run that so you from a different monitor, so you don't see what's getting chosen. And it has a deal in there to where it randomizes between 1 and 3 for how many shots it takes to put something down. And I've got something called the gunshot box that I've added recently that if someone is directly shooting at you, it pops off a round that's 125 decibels. So it's hearing safe, but you know it. A little bit of concussion and a flash. So it adds a little bit of extra realism there. And they haven't perfected that yet as far as how it interacts with some of the scenarios, but it'll catch your attention. And then there's incredible. The other modules in there, the IPSC, Steel Challenge, stuff like that. But it's all stuff that, well, as a matter of fact, in several cases, and even for y'all, this somewhat, I've had cases where students would kind of stay after class, and them and the instructor would be able to work on stuff on the simulator and get some extra time, extra training with that. Or, for example, if weather comes out, hey, you just shouldn't be training in. Now, is it ideal? No, because you can only run one or a couple at a time. If you're using the M range, you can run a qual with like up to 4 people, but it's still something, because in those cases where, hey, yeah, we just can't be out here, you're still able to do something instead of, well, guess we're just hanging out yakking for a while.
Yeah, or worse yet, just go home.
Yeah, right.
Folks, I want to give a very special thank you to Top Gun Shooting Range here in Memphis, Tennessee. This is where I teach personally. Folks, I do not shill for anybody. I promote the causes that I believe in, and I believe in Top Gun Memphis. Come by and see us.